Hey y'all, so I'm back again with another recap of Love After Lockup. This is episode 5. If you're not watching this show, what are you doing with your life? And I'm so serious. This is one of the best trashy reality TV shows, and I've been watching reality TV for well over 10 years. I'm invested in it. It's one of my first loves. I love trashy reality TV, and this by far is one of the best. They are knocking it out of the park. And I just heard that WeTV did pick them up for a season 2. And that made me so happy because I was so nervous because they said the ratings weren't doing good. And I was like, y'all, they gonna cancel it. But they said they're gonna pick it up for a season 2. And I hope that the season 2 is a little bit longer than this season. The season's short. I think there's only 7 episodes. So I'm hoping that season 2 is gonna be like 10 or 12, a little bit longer. But I'm so excited that they're bringing this show back, y'all. If you're not watching this, please, just tune in Friday nights. Go to WeTV.com. You can watch all the full episodes if you sign in with your cable provider. Guys, last night was, oh my, I have no words. I'm just going to get started. I'm not even going to keep talking to y'all because I know y'all ready to hear what I got to say. And, well, I do have words. I lied. I have many words. So let's get right into it. I'm coming out the gate swinging, y'all. Let's start with James and Alla because we got business to attend to. We got to come together because this girl is high. We got to come together and do something about this. I have never in my life, I don't think, other than watching the Osbournes, when Kelly Osbourne was clearly high on the show. It's been a long time since I watched a reality TV show where a character or one of the talent or a cast member, a main cast member, was obviously high. Like, not even like, okay, maybe they were high a little bit, and obviously high. It's maybe when Scott Disick used to go on his coke enraged, rants and punching walls and stuff. But it's been a long time since I've seen somebody just obviously high on national TV. I was sitting there watching that whole, anytime they popped up on the screen, my mouth was just hanging open because she was so obviously high. And James was not addressing it. I don't know if he's trying to not embarrass her when the cameras are around and maybe they talk about it when they're at home. I don't think they do. I think he just doesn't want to see it. I think he has love goggles on and he is just blinded and just loves her so much that he is just, I really don't think he sees it. And I don't understand how he cannot see that this girl is high. So it starts off with them, of course we know that she dipped out on the modeling agency thing. That's where it kind of left it hanging last week, and she's sick. So she pulls over at a gas station and just jumps out and is throwing up nothing in the trash can. I mean, she literally puked up like maybe a little bit of spit, probably some acid from in her stomach and air. She was just dry heaving. Nothing came out. I didn't hear any sounds of stuff hitting the trash can. I know that's really gross that I was listening for that, but I just pay attention to things like that. And she definitely was not throwing up a meal that she had eaten. So that kind of led me to believe that she's not eating. She was throwing up nothing. There was nothing in her stomach. She was just dry heaving. Then James rolls up and, is helping her, comforting her and are you okay? And this girl, I mean, pupils dilated, slurring her words, eyes half open, just not making a lot of sense, just high as a kite. I mean, just obliviously high. She was on Mars. So, he's, they're trying to figure out why she's sick and she doesn't know. And, oh my gosh, I don't know why. I don't know what could have happened. And then, she comes up with the pregnancy thing, I think to just distract him from her being high. So maybe he won't ask me if I'm high if he thinks I'm pregnant. So she throws the pregnancy thing out there. When she first said that, I sat up in the bed and was like, how long has she been out of prison? No, really. I don't think I paid attention. I don't know if because with some of the inmates, they put how long they've been out. She has not been out that long. She's probably been out, what, 2-3 weeks? So you mean to tell me you're having morning sickness when you're, what, a week pregnant? You're already showing pregnancy symptoms when you're a week pregnant? No, ma'am. We know you're not pregnant. You know you're not pregnant. The only fool that could possibly think that you'll be pregnant is James because he's an idiot. She's not pregnant. She's trying to make a phantom baby and they've had sex, what, for a week and a half? You don't even know that you're pregnant until like a month after. You haven't even missed a period, ma'am. So what, the only way that I could be sick is because I'm pregnant. No, it's because you're taking heroin again and your body is like, whoa, you haven't been taking heroin since you've been in prison. You can't be putting all this heroin on me. And now she's getting sick from a reaction to it. This is pitiful. So, you know, she goes and buys a pregnancy test, I guess. This was the most confusing, like, scene to me because she had, okay, so they go to this restaurant after, you know, this is later in the show. They go to this restaurant and sit down and are talking about this possible baby. And, you know, she's like, well, I'm not going to be happy if I am pregnant. And James is like, oh, you wouldn't be happy about that? And then, the girl's high as a kite. I mean, high, but she starts making sense, which shocked me. I'm like, okay, she's a functioning addict, because she started saying some stuff that really made sense. She was like, I haven't even met your family. You haven't even told them the truth of how we met, but you want to have a baby with me. She's like, don't you think we would want to kind of be like in each other's lives a little bit more permanently before we start bringing a child into it? Like, why would I be happy about being pregnant? That made perfect sense to me. I dropped my pen and pencil. I said, this girl is making sense, and she is high as a kite. I just couldn't believe this. This whole episode had me shook. So James gets a little upset, and it's like, well, I don't, you know, it's exciting. And I guess he wants to have a baby. I don't know why you want to have a baby with a drug addict. You gonna have a crack baby? What is wrong with him? I don't know if he's just really naive, if he's high on some kind of prescription medication, if he's high on some kind of non-prescription medication, or if he's just mentally slow. I don't know, but something's not right, and I don't know why he would be excited about a heroin addict being pregnant. That's not good. No. So she's, you know, making these crazy sentences, and finally she says, well, I'm gonna go because I'm gross and I've been running around the city throwing up in trash cans outside of gas stations all day, so I'm gonna go change my clothes. I don't know where she got these clothes from, y'all. Where had she been? Were these the clothes for the modeling thing? Maybe she brought a change of clothes because she was gonna like model for them. I don't know, but she goes in the bathroom and says she says that she's gonna go take a pregnancy test. I don't know when she bought the pregnancy test. Did y'all see her go buy one? Did she buy it at the gas station? I don't know when she bought a pregnancy test. But she told him she went and took one. I think she went in there and shot up. Because when she came out, she was even higher. And I didn't think it was possible for her to get any more high. She came out higher, making less sense. She was gone. She was up. I'm trying to figure out where Alla went. Because she was not at that dinner table. That girl was in space. She went in that bathroom and hopped on the spaceship and took off. She was so high, she was not making any sense. So she comes out and is acting like she didn't go in there to take a pregnancy test. So James is like, well, what's up? And she like, well, can you wait a second? No, I can't wait a second. What you mean? You just said you're going to take a pregnancy test. She starts going off on him, not making any sense at all. Talking about, is this a marine thing? He's like, what are you talking about? Then James started making sense. Y'all, this whole just exchange had me messed up because Alla was making sense, and then James said something that made sense. I was like, these people are crazy, but they kind of got some sense. I don't know. So, you know, he's trying to figure out what were the results. What happened? She never showed the pregnancy test. She came out acting crazy, acting like she didn't want to tell him what happened. She did not take a pregnancy test. I don't even think she had one. She went in there to do drugs, point blank, period. And you can get in the comments and argue with me if you want to, but you're not going to change my mind. She went in that bathroom to do drugs, change clothes, and come out fabulous and start an argument with this man because she forgot why she went in there. She went in there and got high and came out and forgot about the pregnancy test. James looking at her like she crazy. And she's like, well, can you wait a second? Wait a second for what? What are we waiting for? We're trying to see if we have a child on the way. She didn't take a pregnancy test. There's no way she took one. So finally she just says, it was negative. And he's like, oh God, was that so hard? And she's like, was it hard for you? If he had stood up and backhanded her, I probably would have applauded him because she was so high, she didn't even know what the conversation was about. It was pitiful. Pitiful that this girl is walking around on national TV this high. Listen, somebody need to get this girl some help. Somebody needs to get this girl some help. And I had some people in the comments from some of my last videos, you know, saying things like, oh, don't you know this about Alla? Don't you know this about other people on the show? I am aware of what's going on with these guys in real time. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that. I have done my research. I do follow them. I'm in Facebook groups, you know, about these shows, and I hear from other people and read articles and things like that. So I do my research on these couples about what's happening right now in real time and what's going on in their actual lives. I just choose not to talk about it on these recaps because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, because some people don't like to know what happens to people in real time. They like to watch the show as it plays out, and I can respect that because I don't like my surprises ruined either. And also, I like to recap just the show. So I just want to recap what we watch from week to week. I don't necessarily want to get on here and be talking about what's going on outside and what's going on in their actual lives. That I just feel like I don't have time for that. I don't want to have, if I did that, these videos will be 2 hours long, and guys, I wouldn't want to sit and watch a 2 hour long video. So I'm just not going to put you through that. So, you know, if you want to know like really some deep dives and dish the dirt on these people, I suggest you go to Facebook and look for the Welcome to Reality TV Pod closed group and join that. Aaron also has a closed Facebook group called Pink Shade with Aaron Martin, where they talk about pretty much every show that we love to watch, including this one. So join a group and get to talking with those people about what's going on, but I won't discuss it here just for the reasons that I said before. So that was it with James and Alla this week. But y'all, this is getting ridiculous. Like, her being high in her interviews in the past episodes was like, to me, was like, oh, this girl is, she is not sober. But last night's episode it sealed it. That was the nail in the coffin. The girl is high. She is not just high in her interviews. She is high on a day-to-day basis. She is doing drugs regularly, and James is choosing to or just being dumb and not seeing it. I don't understand how you can sit there and have a conversation with someone who is slurring their words, pupils are dilated, not making sense, jumping from topic to topic, fidgety, slow moving, and not be like, are you high right now? Like, how does that question not come out? And you know she's a heroin addict. James, baby, sweetie, look, crazy eyes. Look at me with the crazy eyes. You need to ask her point blank, is she high? And you need to do something about it. I know you love her. I know she's your sweet little pretty model, but that girl is high. And you need to do something about it. You need to get that baby some help. Okay? I think that was it for them. That was a hot mess. And, oh, I'm glad I got them out of the way. Let's move on to the next couple. Whew. Alright, so next I'm going to talk about Johnna and Garrett. So this episode, it was Johnna's birthday. This episode with the editing really confused me, and I don't know if y'all were confused too, and I don't know if I was just being slow, but I watched it twice and I'm still confused. So it starts out like on her birthday, I guess, because they're arguing and she's still mad about him staying out all night and going to the strip club, whatever. And, you know, he's saying, you know, what's your birthday? And she's like, oh, well, you know, they're just arguing. And I thought that in that opening scene with them, that it was her birthday, that it was the day. And he was like, well, we're going to go out and we're going to have a good time. Then the next time we see Garrett, he's riding out to go look at rings. He's going ring shopping. Girl, ring shopping with what? Garrett keep coming up with this magical money. I'm trying to figure out where this magical money is from. He got a newer car than me, got $200 and something a month car payment, and now he's going to buy a ring. So he's looking at these settings with this jeweler. The jeweler asks him, you know, what's his story, which nobody does that. That was a feed from the producers so that he could tell the we met in prison story. Everybody knows that, but obvious producer feed. So he tells the story. He starts looking at settings. The rings are really pretty, actually. The setting, which the jeweler kind of had to break it down for him, the setting without the diamond was about $2,000. And then the .91, which is almost a carat, but we know she want her 1 carat solitaire stone, was about another $2,000 on top of that. Then he showed him the 1.01, and somehow it jumped up to $7,000. And Garrett was like, well, this is too rich for my blood. So he leaves without buying anything. He's like, if it's not today, I'll have to come back. So I was confused because I thought this was all on the same day. So apparently it wasn't on the same day, but they made it look as if it started out on her birthday, and then later that day he went ring shopping, and then all of a sudden they were going out for her birthday. I don't know. Maybe I just looked at it incorrectly, but that's how they made it look to me. So the editing really threw me off here. So he goes ring shopping. He says, I can't afford these rings. I'm going to have to come back later. And apparently he did come back later because fast forward to her actual birthday, I guess. And, you know, they're getting ready to go to her little birthday dinner with her friends. And, you know, they're arguing, of course. You know, I don't even know what they were arguing about. I really honestly don't care. She comes out with this like goddess halter neck dress on that was wrinkled. And I'm a no iron girl. I hate ironing. I purposefully buy material clothes that do not require ironing and don't wrinkle because I hate to iron. So I feel you on that, girl. But you should have looked at that dress and been like, let me hit it with this iron real quick. Because those wrinkles were that just irritated me to see that her nice, pretty dress for her birthday just wrinkled. She looked a mess. So, oh, also, did anybody notice that Johnna looks like she's like growing by the 5-pound increments? I mean, I feel like when she picked Garrett up from prison, and I know she had those Spanx on, but she had on like a little like form-fitting dress, and she was not that big. I mean, she had like she was curvy, she had hips and stuff, but it was like in this episode when she was arguing with him, that girl's like her hips were sitting up on her back and her boobs were huge, and she had that like soft fat right here in her arm. She's like, she been eating good. And I was like, okay, he's been out for 5 weeks. This girl, what's going on? Is it stress? She looks like she is just blowing up a little bit. And I was like, dang, I don't remember her being quite that chunky. Not that there's anything wrong with her, it just seemed like a very rapid growth is all I'm saying. She didn't look that big when she had that little red dress on when she picked him up. And now all of a sudden she got, you know, she getting thick. Like, you know, she had a booty and hips. And I was like, dang, girl, what you been eating? Anyway, I digress. So they go to her birthday dinner and they're on like this little, like, looking over the water. I know she lives in Florida. It was real cute. It was very classy. And I know it was a very grown-up place because they were like, what you want to drink? She was like, I want Moscato. And they're like, they don't have Moscato here. All they have is Chardonnay. And I was like, that's my kind of restaurant. We do not serve Moscato. Moscato is for, you know, baby drinkers. When you're first, you know, when you first turn 21 or 18 or whatever and start drinking, that's when you drink Moscato. Moscato is the easing you into being a wino. Once you hit Chardonnay, you are a professional drinker. So I might have to hit up that place next time I'm in Florida because it seemed like my kind of scene. Anyway, so she gets her drink and, you know, they're having a good time. They're cheers and happy birthday, blah, blah, blah. So then Garrett's like, it's time for gifts. So they... you know, this was really strange to me because the first gift that she gets from I don't even know who it was from. They didn't say who the presents were from. Nobody else had gifts for her. So she opens this like chocolate covered strawberry that was melted. And then there was no explanation. She just looked at it and was like, oh, and then passed it. And I don't know who gave her that. What was that? That was stupid. I don't even know what was happening there. So then, you know, I didn't see her open any more gifts, which was probably editing. I don't know if her friends gave her anything, but anyway. So, you know, there's one more gift and, you know, it's a medium-sized box and she opens it up and there's another box and then another box and, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, I thought that was kind of cute how Garrett did that, but I didn't like how she was trying to act like she didn't know what was going on. Like, oh, another box and they're getting tinier and tinier. Oh, I don't know what this could be. Girl, you know exactly what this is. Stop it. So, you know, she's trying to act all like, I don't know what's happening here. Why are there so many boxes? And so then, you know, she finally gets to the ring and, you know, Garrett takes it from her and acts like he was a 17-year-old boy proposing to his, you know, asking a girl to go to the prom. I mean, baby, you were there for me since day one. I mean, not really. You were there for me since day one and I love you so much. And I want you to be with me for the rest of my life, baby. Will you marry me? It was so childish and like a little boy asking his girlfriend to prom. But, you know, that's what she wanted. The ring was very pretty. I hate to say it, and I'm sure he had help from somebody, the producers or somebody, but he did a good job picking that ring. That ring was beautiful. It had little dusted diamonds down the side about halfway and the one big solitaire sitting in the center. I'm still trying to figure out how we gonna pay for this ring and this car note, and he's a server at a restaurant. Now, I know that she says on Twitter that he worked while he was in prison and had money saved up. I hear all that, but he don't have this much. I don't know where this money is coming from. He pulled out some more of that white magic and sprinkled it and somehow paying for a ring. I don't know how it's happening, but this boy keeps on getting thing after thing after thing fresh out of prison with no credit and no money. But either way, good for them. You know, she said yes. They're going to get married, I guess. I mean, if he wants to be married to her, so be it. I mean, he needs a roof over his head. That's basically what this boils down to. Garrett needs a place to stay until he can get on his feet and escape. So he's doing what she wants for now. You know, Johnna said she feels like a fiance, which I don't even know what that means. What does a fiance feel like? I don't know. I ain't never been one, so somebody else tell me, do you feel different? Is it a tingly feeling? I don't know. But she says she feels like a fiance and she's ready to marry him, and it's till death do us part, only if he acts right. So, you know, there's stipulations to this marriage apparently already out the gate. So good for them, you know, whatever. Let's move on to the next couple. All right, next is Andrea and Lamar. So we didn't get to see a lot of them tonight, which I was actually okay with, because after last week, I'm starting to get over Andrea, and I really didn't need any more than the 5 minutes that we saw her tonight. So it starts off with Andrea talking to her friend, and she's basically telling her friend the story about what happened with the baby mama and the daughter and her storming off and then them getting into the fight in the Walmart parking lot. What I did not like, because we did talk about Lamar's behavior and how that's bad and he shouldn't have done that. But what I didn't like was how Andrea was leaving out huge pieces of the story to make herself look like a victim. Andrea is clearly very manipulative. And I know we do that. You know, we do that when we tell a story to our girlfriends. We do leave. Okay, ladies, let's be honest. We sometimes will leave little pieces out, you know, to make the guy be like, well, he did this to me, you know, and we do that. I try not to. I try to tell the whole truth if the guy is wrong. And he probably didn't react the best way. But she totally left out her irrational, just acting like a child. And her friend was like high-fiving her when she was like, did you leave? Ooh, high five. No, don't high five that. She acted like a child. She stormed off just because a baby mama was coming. Who cares? He was talking to this woman 20-something years ago. Bye. The friend is just as foolish as she is. So she's manipulating this to make him look like he's this big bad thug, big bad inmate, big bad crip who ran up on me in the parking lot, when she totally stirred the pot and brewed that storm. That was her making all that to be way worse than it should have been. If she had just sat her behind at the table, none of that mess would have happened. But anyway, so her and the friend are talking, and the friend is concerned because she's like, oh, your man shouldn't be treating you like that, and you should be nervous, you know, if he's going to put his hands on you. And I'm like, actually, Lamar showed a lot of self-control. He showed more self-control than I would have, and I haven't been to jail a day in my life. So I applaud you, Lamar, for not backhanding or dotting her I, because I probably would have. So he actually showed a lot of self-control because she was being extremely irrational and manipulating the situation. But of course, she didn't say this because she's manipulating her friend to think something about Lamar that isn't necessarily true. Oh God, this woman is just, she's just the worst. Ugh. So, you know, but the friend is concerned, and she's like, well, I still want to marry him. I still love him. And she's like, she's like, I'm not one of those girls, you know, and by those girls, I'm thinking she meant ones who sit by and will be abused and not, you know, still stay with the man. So she's trying to convince her friend that she's not one of those kind of girls who does things like that and whatever. I mean, it just irritated me how she told the story. She did not tell her and that girl are both stupid. So moving on. So then we see Lamar, and he's back in, you know, California with his brother, and basically they're apart now. And so that's kind of a big deal because, you know, I guess she was with him for those 3 or 4 days, and now she, you know, can't be apart from him, even though she was apart from him for six years. I'm like, y'all should be used to being apart. That's what y'all did, y'all whole relationship. Y'all just met each other. But anyway, so Lamar's thinking about going to Utah to meet the kids and the family and get married in Utah. Tiny little problem though, his parole says he can't leave LA County. So Lamar's like, I'm just gonna sneak off to Utah and, you know, come back somehow without being caught. As I say this to a camera on national television. Not smart, Lamar. Not smart. Are you trying to go back to jail? So here's my thing, because Lamar's like, oh, I thought I was going to be able to like get a hall pass. I think he thought he was going to be like getting an excused absence. Like if I send a note to my parole officer, she'll let me go to Utah to get married. I thought they'd understand. Lamar, you were in jail for 18 years, sir, for armed robbery with a weapon. They are not going to take their eyes off you. That's what parole is. So stop acting like you went to jail for a year for some little petty crime. And I'm like, oh, if I give them a note from my fiance saying we have to get married in Utah, that they'll give me a pass and let me leave LA County. No, sir. You are a hardened criminal. You have to abide by the laws of your parole. And he said himself that his parole officer did not play. So I don't think he needs to do this. His brother was trying to talk him out of it, trying to say this is not a good idea. What I don't understand is, why is it that they have to get married in Utah? He's acting like, we got to go to Utah to get married. I have to go to Utah to meet the kids. I have to go to Utah to live. Why does everything have to happen in Utah? Doesn't LA County give out marriage license just like every other place in the United States? Okay, well, Andrea, pack up you and the kids. Take a road trip over to LA. You can meet Lamar. Go back to Utah. Hey, you want to get married? How about you pack up the kids and a few friends and immediate family and let's head on over to LA County and we can have a wedding there. I don't understand why we have to get married in Utah. Why do we have to jeopardize this man's parole and risk him going back to prison for a wedding? You can get married anywhere. You don't have to get married in Utah. I did not understand that at all. They were acting like Utah was the only place they could get married. Is it because she's Mormon and she thinks her marriage doesn't count if it's not in Utah? Because Mormons like have to get married in Utah? Is that what she thinks? Does she not know that LA County gives out marriage licenses that are valid everywhere? Like, it doesn't mean that if you get married in LA County, once you move to Utah, you're not married anymore. You're still married. Doesn't matter where. So why do we have to leave the county and risk this man's parole and risk him going back to jail for a wedding? I don't understand that at all. And I think it's stupid that he's even considering this, that he's even saying these words. Like, I think it'll be fine. No, it's not going to be fine. What are you doing? Like, dude, no. I think some of Andrea's crazy rubbed off on him when they had sex. It was like it transferred through the bodily fluids or something. I don't know, but that was not logical. And I pray to God that he gets a little sense by next week and says, I'm not leaving, I'm not coming to Utah because I can't risk going back to jail. I hope it for him. I think Lamar is a good guy at heart, even though he is still gangbanging and wants to be a rapper. And I think there are some good qualities in him, and I don't think he needs to risk going back to jail. It's not worth it. Not for this fool. Not for her. No, definitely not. So I think that was it for them. So let's just keep Lamar lifted up in prayer that he does not leave LA County, because he's going to go back to jail and they're probably not going to let him out. Let's move on. All right, next is Angela and Tony. Y'all, we actually got to meet Tony last night. And let me say this, because, you know, Angela was talking about how hurt and devastated she was when she went to the bus station to pick up Tony and he didn't show. So we see Angela and she's sitting in her living room waiting on a FaceTime or a video call from Tony. How is Tony FaceTiming her right now? I have so many questions about this whole scene. It was like a 3-minute scene, but I have so many questions. Number one, how is Tony FaceTiming her right now? Not only does this man have a cell phone in prison, if he's still in prison, which he says he is, but I don't know. Not only does he have a cell phone with Wi-Fi in prison, he had earbuds in. He not only has a cell phone, but he has all the cell phone accessories to go with it. That really tripped me out. I'm like, this man got his earbuds in, he got the cell phone, he got the accessories, you probably got a case, a stand. I mean, just loose. Are you in prison? Second question. This man had on a snapback like baseball cap. Do they get those out of prison? Listen, I have watched many a Lockup Raw that comes on MSNBC late at night on Saturday and Sunday nights. I watched that show for years. I had never in my life seen them give them any other kind of hat than a skull cap in the wintertime. I didn't know they gave out baseball caps. So that looks suspicious to me. I'm like, this boy got on a baseball cap, but it was white and plain. So that kind of made me feel, I'm like, okay, maybe they do give out baseball caps in prison. I don't know. I just feel like Tony is conning her. I know y'all are going to be like, he's still in prison, stuff can happen, blah, blah, blah. I know. I just feel like he's not. He didn't even look like he was hiding when he was talking on the phone. Do they allow cell phones in jails now? I mean, it was daylight, well lit. He was in an open room, looked like. He wasn't even trying to sneak. I'm like, oh, where are you? Where are the guards? So they're talking and he's talking about how much he missed her and he doesn't know what happened. He had all his stuff packed and somehow he just never got released. I don't know. It was weird. And nobody came to me and told me anything. Which I don't understand how this whole you're not getting released. You have all your stuff packed, ready to go, and you're not getting released. And nobody comes and tells you, hey, you have these charges against you. We're not letting you out. Do they do that in prisons? I don't see how you can not get released and not know what happened. I just don't understand that. But somebody check me if you know the prison systems better than I do. But that sounds strange to me. that you would have violated something to not get released. You are literally packed and ready to go, and nobody has come to get you, and nobody has come to tell you why. You just, what are you supposed to do? Just unpack and just keep living prison life? That makes no sense to me. But anyway, you know, you know, he asked her, you know, well, did you think I was, you know, lying? And she's like, well, it did cross my mind, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, I would never do that to you. I love you, blah, blah, blah. And then they start talking about sex, and I'm sorry. They start talking about sex and something. I don't know. Let's just move on, because that was just nasty. But you are getting conned by Tony. I think he's lying to you. And, you know, of course, when they had that conversation, he had to bring up money. Well, you know, I'm going to need another $200. He asking for big chunks of money. How many packs of ramen noodles and honey buns can you buy with $200 in one pop? Like, what do you need in prison that you need $200 every single month? You're wearing the same clothes as everybody else, so you're not stunting on nobody. The food in there, you can only eat so many honey buns. So what are you doing with this $200 a month, except for Western Union in it to some other family member so they can hold it for you, so when you get out, you'll have a stash and you gone. That's the only thing that makes sense. I don't understand how these people don't see that. Oh my gosh, somebody in the Facebook group did a side-by-side. I swear to God, I about died laughing. Side-by-side, and I'll put it up. Side-by-side of her and Tomater from Cars. They look like twins. I'll find that picture and I'll put it up for y'all right here. They look like twins. I mean, she could literally play Tomater in the real life version of Cars. But anyway, that's it for Angela and Tony. I'm done with these folks getting straight up conned and just not wanting to see it. Let's move on. Next is Lizzy and Scott. So, as we know, we didn't see Lizzy and Scott last week. 2 weeks ago, Scott went to pick up Lizzy. She didn't get released. They don't know what happened. So, apparently, Lizzy's lawyer called Scott and asked him to come in for a meeting. What I thought was hilarious was that Scott bought clothes for this meeting. I think Scott thought he was going to court. Like, no, you're not going to court. It's not a hearing. You're just going to talk to the lawyer in his office. Like, he literally opened the shirt pack, like fresh, crisp white shirt, like bought a new dress shirt, and probably the tie probably came with it. It was probably a set. And I'm like, dang, you buying clothes just to go meet with a lawyer? I think he thought he was going to court, y'all. But he got on his Sunday best, tied everything to go talk to Lizzy's lawyer. Lizzy's lawyer basically breaks it down to him that, hey, Lizzy got caught with a cell phone, heroin, and methamphetamines, and she could be facing up to 12 years. She's not getting out. And Scott is just devastated. Now, the lawyer said that she got caught with a cell phone, heroin, and methamphetamines. And for some reason, all Scott heard was cell phone and started blaming himself and was like, oh, it's my fault that she got caught with these charges. Sir, you said before that you bought her cell phones in the past. They take them away and then you'll send her another one. So obviously the cell phone thing is not that big of a deal. They probably get a little slap on the wrist. Oh, you got caught with a cell phone. You know, you gotta, I don't know what they give them. But it's not something that's going to give them charges for up to 12 years added to their current sentence. The heroin and the methamphetamines is the problem, Scott. I don't know why he felt like it was his fault that this is happening to her. Did you send her the heroin and the meth too? Okay then, the cell phone is not the issue. I mean, yeah, it is, but I guarantee she's not going to get slapped with 12 years for just having a cell phone. It's the drugs that's the problem, Scott, sweetie. Do not blame yourself for this. This is your con artist Lizzy doing what Lizzy does best. Probably selling it. That's another way that she gets money, or using it. I don't know. She looked a little kooky. So I don't understand why Scott felt like the blame was all on him. God, he was just so downtrodden. Oh, my heart just goes out. I have a soft spot in my heart for Scott as well, just because he's so like just grungy and like old sweet old man who's getting conned, and I just hate to see that. And he really did. I could tell he really felt bad. He felt like he was responsible for this. And I'm like, no, I'm like screaming at the TV. This is not your fault. It's like when kids think their parents are getting divorced because of them. It's like, this has nothing to do with you. Stop blaming yourself for something that has absolutely nothing to do with you, Scott. And it was just so sad. He was like, I'm just tired of being alone. He's just lonely and he just wanted her. And I just felt bad for him. And I'm like, you know what? Scott and Angela need to find each other. They need to drop these two young conning folks that they got. If Scott's so tired of being alone, he needs to somehow, how far away do they live? Angela's in Mississippi. Where's Scott? somewhere in Arizona. Ooh, that's far. So somehow we need to get these two together because they are both lonely and desperate, and they're both, you know, 45 going on 65, and they need to get together. I think they would make a good couple. I think they would really work well together. So somehow somebody put out an APV and find these people, and let's hook them up. I don't know if we can do it through Facebook or something, but Scott or Angela, if you're watching, just slide in the other one's DMs and let's get this popping, because y'all need to drop these two youngins y'all got. Drop this and let it go, and y'all two need to get together because y'all are basically the same person, and I think y'all will make a good couple. I see a love connection there. So I don't know what's gonna happen with them. I don't think we're ever gonna get to meet Lizzy. I don't know what's going to happen with Scott. He said he's going to call her and break the news to her. I don't know why he feels like that's his responsibility. Why the lawyer can't call her. This your lawyer. This your client. You call her and tell her she's facing 12 years. I'm not calling her and doing that. He's just taking on all this responsibility for no reason. I don't know why he feels like it's his fault. He's just tired of being alone. He's tired of on my own. Won't you help me? Please help him, somebody. Oh, gosh, poor Scott. That's it for them. I don't have nothing else. We're going to keep Scott lifted up in prayer. He is on the prayer list as well. And moving on to my last couple, Dominic and Mary. Lord, we have had Dominic on the prayer list all week, y'all, and we are going to keep his name there. We are going to continue to keep his name there. We're just adding Scott and Lamar to the list. Dominic and Mary. Lord, where do I begin? This whole, you know, stretch of scenes with them was hard to watch for me. It was about as hard to watch as the Alla and James thing. And I'll tell you why. Dominic is traumatized, y'all. I said it last week and I was kind of joking. Now, I really do think something happened to him in there. This boy is aloof. If you look up aloof in the dictionary, you will see his picture. Now, I will say this. I see both sides to this argument here. I see Kanekalon's argument and I also see Dominic's. So it starts off with them, you know, they're meeting up for the day, and Mary surprises him and takes him tuck shopping. And he's like, well, I didn't tell the parole or the halfway house that I was coming here, because he's supposed to give them a play-by-play, hour-by-hour of his day, apparently, and where he's going to be. And he has to make phone calls from landlines to verify that he's at the places that he says he's at. Which, you know, hey, he's paroled. Apparently in Canada, they don't play. Their prison system is not messing around. And they will send you back if you violate any of your parole. So he is nervous, honey. He is nervous the whole just episode. He does not want to go back in there because he was violated. I'm pretty sure he was raped or somebody's prison wife. Something happened to him. I don't know if he was getting in multiple fights. Something happened to Dominic in prison, y'all. Verified, confirmed. You can't change my mind on that. But anyway, so, you know, Mary's kind of bummed because he's like, I got to get out of here. He's just not feeling it. And she doesn't understand why he doesn't want to do the whole wedding thing and why he's not excited. Girl, listen, Mary, the boy just got out of prison. He was clearly somebody's prison wife against his will. He is not going to be excited to do wedding stuff. He is nervous right now because you have him in a place that he is not supposed to be in, and he needs to make the call. The call time is coming up and he has to make a call from a landline, and she just doesn't understand. And I don't understand why she doesn't know the stipulations of his parole. Like, why is he just now explaining this stuff to her? Like, do y'all talk? Shouldn't you know this? You should already know what your man has to do, and you should understand it. If my man came out of prison after 6 years and he was on parole and he had to make calls at a certain time, baby, that my alarm's gonna be set for when he has to make that call. I'm gonna have his hour by hour day in my phone on my calendar because that's my man, and I'm gonna help him get through this parole. She is just in la la land. She has no idea. She thinks he's gonna come out skipping like it's a Disney movie. And girl, this boy was in prison for 6 years. He's a different person now. You need to get that, and you need to chill. Give him a little space. Let him decompress. Let him breathe. He has been through trauma. She just doesn't get that. And I get Dominic for being a little pissed at her because she's just not understanding that this man does not want to skip down the yellow brick road right now because he's nervous about his parole. So I see that, you know, with him. And so, you know, they leave and she's kind of pissed because he, you know, doesn't want to do the wedding thing. And, you know, I can see as a woman, you want to be excited about it. But once he tells me once that, hey, I need some time, I got it. The boy just got out of jail. Okay, you ain't got to tell me twice. But she just doesn't get it. She keeps pushing him. And finally, they push into an argument. And all the emotions come flooding out. And Dominic's basically saying, well, you know what? If you can't understand and I need time, well, F it, basically. And, you know, then Mary gets mad and it's like, well, you know, God forbid you have to touch me. Now, this is where I'm with Mary. Mary has a point, because she's basically saying like, okay, I get that you know, don't want to do the wedding stuff. Fine, gotcha. But why can't you be my man? Like, can we be together? Can we be in love? She says that when she touches him, he's stiff as a board. He's not showing affection like he used to when he went in. He's just not being the loving guy that she knew. And I see her point there. Now, that has nothing to do with his parole. He's not going to get locked back up for holding his girl's hand, giving her a hug, giving her a kiss, showing affection. That has nothing to do with your parole. That has everything to do with him not being into her, him being aloof toward her. And I can see why that would be hard. So Mary does have a point with that. Even though I wouldn't want to kiss her either, because her lips and her face and her body, everything about her is disgusting. Well, let me not say disgusting. That's such a harsh word. Let me say, well, her lips are disgusting. Her face looks like clay. Her eyebrows are painted on. She's not attractive, but you know, that's your girl. And I'm sure she looked like that when you met her. So, you know, hey, to each his own. But, you know, I think that it is a little hard for her to take him being so cold. He's just so cold to her, and he really is. And I can see her point. So I see both their points. Now, what both of them need to do is stop being so hard-headed and see the other one's point of view. Mary needs to see that, hey, Dominic has this whole parole thing and halfway house thing that he is laser focused on. He don't have time to play with this little wedding stuff. He don't have time to play in your Disney movie fairy tale. He trying to get through this halfway house, through this parole. Give him about a year, sweetie. You already waited 6. What's one more? It's okay. It's cool. We'll wait a year, and then when you're good, when the halfway house says, okay, you're good, you can go back into society, then we can start talking about wedding stuff. I know you're excited. I know you want your big white dress and the whole party and everything. Superficial crap. I know, okay? But just give him a little time, Mary. Now, Dominic, you have got to get in therapy, sir. Because you are clearly not being affectionate to this girl. You're not letting her touch you. You probably shower with your back to the wall because you were violated in prison. I'm pretty sure something happened to you, baby. I don't know what did, but my heart just goes out to him. When he talks, he is almost, is he like a clone? Like, y'all ever heard those conspiracy theories where people say when celebrities disappear for a while and then they come back and they like start looking at things on their face and they're like, oh, this isn't the real Beyonce. Beyonce didn't look like that. This is a clone. He literally is like a clone of his former self. When you look at those pictures they post from like when they were in love and stuff, and then look at him now, he does not look like the same person. His eyes are dead. His voice, he just mumbles his words. His skin doesn't even have like a lively color to it. It's just like blah. He has this scar on his face, which I think he got shanked. He's like a cyborg. He's like a robot. He's like a clone of his former. He's not the same person. He needs to get in therapy and get whatever happened to him in prison, start working that out so that he can be the man that Mary needs him to be and be loving and the, you know, the kissy kissy and what she wants and what he was before. Apparently, she said that he used to be like that. And now he's just, baby, he don't touch me. Don't, no, because he probably got PTSD. He have a flashback. You start touching me. No, I remember that night in my room. No, don't touch me. Something happened. Dominic, you need to deal with that because this girl is probably going to walk. And I would walk too. I don't think I could handle it if my man was just cold to me all the time. You know, and I get it that she is irritating him and provoking him to be probably a little cold with the whole wedding stuff. So she needs to chill on that. But he can meet her halfway with the affection thing. But he's got to work all that trauma out. Because it's just, he's gone. He's like, he is traumatized. I can see it. It's all over him. Something happened to him in there. And she says he's nervous to be around people. He's scared all the time. He probably don't like crowds. I don't know what happened to him in there, but baby, he got PTSD. And he needs to work through that so that they can come together and be a couple. She needs to chill on the wedding talk. And he needs to go through therapy, and she needs to help him so that he can sort of ease back into being affectionate and loving, because I don't think it's going to happen right now. If she's touching him and he's stiffening up, that's not a good sign. I feel like somebody violated him he was somebody's prison wife. So, you know, we're going to keep him lifted up in prayer. He is on our prayer list. Scott is on our prayer list. And Lamar is on our prayer list because I feel like Lamar is about to go back to jail. So we're going to keep all of them lifted up in prayer, saints, this week. And hopefully next week we'll have a better report. We'll have a praise report to give you. But that was it. Oh my gosh, this show just keeps getting better and better and better. It's like each week they give you more and more and more. And I could not be happier. Keep it coming, WeTV, because I'm really enjoying this. you know, I'm just head over heels in love with this show. It's so amazing. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. If you like to follow me on Twitter, NICHI_P_tweets for live tweets during all the shows that I watch, not just this one. And I appreciate all my new subscribers. Welcome to my channel. I think I'm up to like 200 and something, which is crazy, y'all. I swear to God, I used to have a vlog like maybe 5-6 years ago, and literally 4 people watched, and I had like 2 subscribers. And the fact that 200 something people like have clicked to like be notified when my videos are online and when I comment, it just blows my mind, because y'all, I don't make a dime doing this. I do it sheer for the love of reality TV, and I love doing it so much, and I can't believe that people actually want to sit and listen to me talk. Like, having 2K views just blows my mind. I'm just a regular girl from the South. I am not a celebrity. I'm a regular person, and the fact that people want to hear what I have to say and think I'm funny and, you know, like and comment, just, it blows my mind every single time. Every time I post a video, I never know what's going to happen, and each time somebody watches it, one person, it just makes my day. So I really appreciate you guys, and I thank you. And leave a comment if I missed something. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Follow me on Twitter. You can DM me, whatever. I think next week I'm going to YouTube Live, watch the video, watch the episode. So follow me on Twitter to keep up with updates, so you know what time I'm going live. I'm in the Central Time Zone, so it comes on at 9 Central. So if you're in a different time zone, then just kind of be watching out for the time if you want to watch with me on YouTube Live. I think I'm going to do it. So we're going to try it out and see how it goes. So those of you who have subscribed to me, you will get a notification when I'm live. Those of you who haven't, follow me on Twitter so that you can kind of keep up with the updates. I'll try to, you know, do it hour by hour, just a reminder like, hey, I'm about to go live in an hour, blah, blah, blah. But we'll watch it together, and we're going to have a great time. There will be wine, there will be laughs, there will be discussion, there will be jokes, there will be commentary. It's going to be amazing. So I'll see you guys next Friday right here on YouTube Live to watch Love After Lockup. And I'll catch you guys on Twitter. And thanks for watching. Bye.